Hey there, YouTube. How's everybody doing out there today? Hope the week's off to a good start for you. Today I thought we'd talk about plant-based weight loss and health. Yeah, something I know a little something about. I've never had a huge weight problem, at least not as an adult, and not really even as a kid, but I was a fat kid. And yes, I was a fat kid. I was born in 1964. Back in those days, being called fat didn't make you have some sort of a breakdown or anything. But yeah, I mean, I was a pudgy kid. I remember being like, I think about 140 pounds or so, like in the fifth grade. I think actually I wore bigger pants in the fifth grade than I wear today. Anyhow, I lost weight like in between the sixth and the seventh grade. Probably was never like a really fat, obese person again after that. But my weight would, like most people, would go up and down. When I got to college, I was in college in the 80s, so we trained a little different back then. All we did was like eat like maniacs, drink beer, and work out at the gym. So I looked kind of like I was as high as 245 pounds in college. I kind of looked like sort of a chubby linebacker. I mean, I was thick. I had big chest and shoulders. But anyhow, after college, I came down. And then in my 30s, I'd say in my late 20s and 30s, I kind of got into that pattern that everybody did. I'd gain some weight, I'd lose some weight. I'd gain some weight, I'd lose some weight. Now, one thing, I was a drinker. I was a drunk during all of this. So I'd kind of balance out the calories from alcohol and food, and I did a lot of unhealthy things. But I think what kind of kept me from ever getting too far out there where I had to get crazy about diets was like I had a ceiling on my weight. When I didn't necessarily have a number, but a way that my pants fit and the way that I looked. When I reached a certain amount overweight, I would like nip it in the bud. But it was always years and years back and forth, up and down. You know, gain 20 pounds, lose 20 pounds, gain 10, lose 10. Always just kind of trying to even it out. And be honest with you, I ate a lot of stuff. I've eaten my share of meat, cheese, butter, all that kind of stuff. And I've lost weight on all of them. But the easiest one was just the plant-based diet. It just is what it is. I was listening to a talk a couple of days ago by Dr. Neil Barnard on the Exam Room podcast. I know the one I keep talking about. Dr. Barnard, his stuff there, and it's free. Go to that podcast. Just type in the Exam Room podcast, weight loss, Dr. Barnard. He's got tons of talks there, and it's just all practical stuff, and it just gets to the heart of the matter. There's no weighing and doing this and points and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to say something. This has nothing to do with raw or cooked or whatever. I think when it comes to the weight loss and our health, you can do it equally either way. So choose whichever way you do it. But it comes down to a few basic principles, and that is whole foods, whole plant-based foods, unprocessed. If you just do a few simple things, you don't have to do all the, well, can you give me an exact? What do I eat? What food do I eat to lose weight? What do I do? What do I do? Just do these things, these basic things, and the weight will come off and you'll be healthy as a side effect. Whole plant-based foods, ditch the process, ditch the processed food, eliminate salt, oil, sugar in your cooking, extra sugar. I'm talking about not from the fruit. And fat. Here's something he says all the time that I just want to parrot right here. That when it comes to the fat, and a lot of people when they're losing weight, they kind of get a little bit confused by listening to plant-based people that are not trying to lose weight. Yes, nuts are part of a healthy diet, a certain amount of them. But when you are actually in the phase of losing weight, and especially if you have a lot of weight to lose, you may not want to participate in some of these even good fats as much as other people that don't have the weight to lose. You can get back on them later, but it's just like, you really want to watch those fats. The fat can get away from you if you don't really pay attention to that. So if you're trying to lose weight on plant-based diet, you might want to, I'm not saying eliminate, but just go easy on the avocado, go easy on the tahini, go easy on the nuts. Watch out for the saturated fat. That's something I've really doubled down on over the last year or so, is like really paying attention to the saturated fat. And you can get saturated fat in some of in some of the plant-based products as well, like palm oil or coconut oil. Those are two right there. Even I used to eat. I didn't eat a lot, and even when I go back to Costa Rica, I'll still eat some coconut, but I wouldn't be eating coconut even on a regular basis because there's just a lot of saturated fat in there. And that's the whole key too, is like when people are eating the meats, the dairies, the whatever, that's just like full of saturated fat. You really have to watch that saturated fat. And that's why I'm saying plant-based weight loss and health. It's not just about dropping a number. It's not even just about slimming down. Where are you going to be when you get there? One thing I notice over and over and over is case studies, people that, and doctors talking about this, people go on plant-based diets. Sure, there's other ways to lose weight. There's a lot of different ways to lose weight out there. But when people are doing it from a plant-based diet, you see their numbers drop immediately. People with high blood pressure. Sometimes their doctors have to adjust their blood pressure medication within the course of a few weeks. The same with blood sugar, the same with cholesterol, the same with so many of these issues. So that's the one thing that you definitely want to look at, is not just are the pounds going to come off, but how healthy am I going to be when I get there? And that's what it comes down to. You can throw the scales out, you can forget about measuring, you can do all this stuff now you got to do all that stuff if you're like trying to, okay, I want to eat some of this processed, and I want to eat this, and I want to eat that, and I want this special food, and I want a cheat meal. But if you just keep it simple, the greens, the fruits, the legumes if you eat cooked, even whole grains if you eat cooked, if you're keeping it to real food and you're keeping that fat low, you can hardly eat enough food to gain weight, get overweight, or not lose weight. Like I say, it was just the first time in my life that I'm like, oh wow, weight's coming off. I'm not trying to lose weight. Now, when I came to a plant-based diet, I probably only had like 25 pounds or so that I needed to lose. Or actually, by the time I got there, I had been doing kind of a semi-transition unknowingly and had lost a good bit of the weight. But before I went here, like my transition from being really unhealthy to being vegan was about 25 pounds. But one thing I want to finish with here, I'm trying to get a little bit more, not just blabbing so much and rambling, is one thing I really want to double down on as I talk about anything on the internet, and we can even get out of the realm of food here. You really need to verify everything you see out there. Yeah, I don't have a problem when somebody calls me out or says BS. I want you to look at this like this is total BS. Go verify it for yourself. That's what I like about people like Dr. Bernard, Dr. Bolsevitz. There's studies to back this. The fiber fueled books. At the end of every chapter, there's a place on his website where you can go check out the references. The numbers don't lie. Your doctor has no stake in this. These people have no reason to lie. It's not some big mass conspiracy as a lot of people out there might think. But the point being, you have to verify everything you see on the internet. I see stuff all the time. Oh, this has been debunked. I'm that guy that I will go look stuff up. I'll go Google, hey, what about this? What about that? And I'll go read a few things. I'll read some opposing views. And a lot of times it's BS. People do not verify. That's where the biggest problem with the internet comes from is, well, I heard, I read, my cousin told me. You're getting these little snippets, these little tidbits that people say, and if it's said over and over and over, it gets into your head and you have no reason. You don't even know. You haven't read anything about it. So verify everything that you're listening to, that you're reading, that you see on the internet. And don't take it at face value. I totally say go do your own research. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then don't do it. Don't do it. I kind of fell into that one too with something totally non-food related. I got a little worked up over something that there was going to be a change to a platform that I'm doing some design stuff in. And I wrote to one person and he sent me a link, and I was almost immediately wish I hadn't done it, because it was like, you haven't read, okay? You just, like, somebody said this, it had no validity to it, and I jumped on it. I do that about once or twice a year, but anyhow, it's really very simple. It's just eat real food. eat real food, and actually don't think about, actually you can put the weight loss out of your head. Just think like, what will make my body the healthiest it can be? What will make me feel the best? What food's going, not what food's going to help me lose weight, what food's going to give me the most energy, and what food's going to make me feel the best. So anyhow, as all these videos are just my 2 cents worth, hope you guys enjoyed it today. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you here again soon. Peace.